Not all ghost stories are born from fear. Some are born from love that refuses to fade. Before he was even born, tragedy struck his family. His grandmother suffered a stroke so devastating that her body became a prison. She could not walk, she could not speak, she could barely move. And yet, she was there, watching, always watching. As he grew from a baby into a curious child, she sat silently in her chair. Her eyes followed him across rooms, her expression never changing, but her presence was undeniable. She couldn't call his name. She couldn't read him stories, but he always knew she was there. Then, one night, everything changed. He was only 4 or 5 years old when he woke up to see her. But this wasn't the silent, motionless woman in a chair. She was standing, she was smiling, and she was speaking. Her voice was soft, calm, reassuring, a sound he had never heard before. She leaned over and whispered just 5 words. "Don't cry tomorrow." Then, gently, she tucked him in, pulled the blanket to his chest, brushed the hair from his forehead, and smiled one last time. It felt so real, like love made flesh. When he opened his eyes again, morning light filled the room. He was still tucked in, exactly as she had left him. But that morning, his father gave him the news. His grandmother had died quietly in her sleep. That final visit, that whispered warning not to cry, had been her goodbye. Even as a child, too young to understand death, he knew something extraordinary had happened. She hadn't left in silence. She had chosen to leave with love. Life after her passing wasn't easy. He grew up in hardship. There were nights on the streets, cold shelter beds, moments of hunger that gnawed deep. But strangely, he was never afraid. Even when he was alone in the dark, even when the world seemed to forget him, he always felt something beside him, a comfort, a warmth, a presence that whispered, "You are not alone." It didn't take away the pain, but it gave him strength to endure it. Then came the moments that couldn't be explained. The night he tried to end his life. Something stopped him. When he was hungry, food would appear. Sometimes a coin, sometimes a meal. When he needed shelter, doors opened. When he needed a friend, someone would cross his path. Every time despair pulled him under, something or someone reached out and pulled him back. It was as though his grandmother's promise had never ended. Her body was gone, but her protection remained. Years passed. The boy grew into a man. He built a family of his own, and still, he never felt fear. One day, a friend asked him, "Why don't you ever worry?" "Not about money, not about your children." He smiled. "I don't need to. I have a friend who keeps me safe." He never explained who that friend was. He didn't need to, because deep down he knew it was her, the grandmother who stood in his room one night long ago, the grandmother who tucked him in with love and never stopped watching. Not all ghosts haunt, some protect, and sometimes the ones we love most never leave us at all.